Hello, I am tatocat and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing Lucid9. I don't know if it goes in the Halloween theme, but there's horror in the tag and it said something about trying to survive. That sounds kind of like a horror-esque theme. We'll see. Might just be a psychological horror. Yeah. So let's get started. It's very blurry. Maybe it's supposed to be blurry. All these back here. I guess if there's fog, it'd be blurry. Oh, is it going in and out of focus? Oh, that's cool. I step back and examine my masterpiece. Perfect. My favorite color. I've always loved red. It's different, brilliant, vibrant, unusual, a happy anomaly, just like me. Red isn't much for nature. Really only shows up in autumn, and even then, it's a dreary rust or a nauseating cherry. Robins are red. I'm sorry, not robins, cardinals. Cardinals are red. They show up in nature. And we just can't have that. Not when it deserves so much more. Oh, creepy. A whispering breeze filters through my thoughts, brushing against my skin with icy fingers. I allow myself a moment to pause, to relish, to admire, to welcome the fresh scent of freedom. This is what I live for. When I open my eyes, I spot a frail leaf dancing upon the backbone of the passing wind, afflicting the world with its appalling shade of asparagus. I pluck it from its branch with the edges of my stained fingernails. Disgusting. How anyone could enjoy this color eludes me. That's fair. Green can be an acquired taste. So can asparagus. A soft groan redirects my attention to my waiting masterpiece. It's lovely, really. Spread across the ground, face contorted with fear, twitching. Cold fingers clutching at empty air. Not my best work, unfortunately. The canvas died much quicker than I had originally expected, even when I tried to carve a bit slower. Well, no matter. Today shall be a palette for my paints. Are we Dexter? I make a quick work of my new palette's chest, ignoring the twitching of the post-mortem reflexes from its mutilated kneecap. The sweet color of red, true crimson, pure scarlet, slinks down its pallid abdomen, licking the blossoming turf below. I dip my fingers into the settling pool of blood. It's warm, sticky like syrup, or settling gelatin. The sweet scent wafts into my nostrils. It smells of iron, of rust, of all things sharp and beautiful. Now, a new canvas. I check my surroundings, evaluating the surfaces and textures and sizes and shapes of every object in sight. None are quite so satisfactory as human skin, with its elasticity, its porous absorption, its innately warm tint. But a substitute is required, so a substitute I must find. Presently, I realize I am still holding that eyesore of a leaf in my hand. Well, I suppose it will have to do. In one bold, fluid stroke, I swipe my paint across the leaf, the very essence of Van Gogh himself. Ah, yes, dear Vincent. Man cut off his own ear to send a message, when words just didn't suffice. I always admired his style. I take a moment to appreciate the leaf's newfound radiance before searching for a proper display. Something like this deserves to be exhibited. I hang my canvas back on its branch. That's better. If only there was more of this color in the world. What is that? Oh, it must be my phone. The character's phone, not my phone. My phone has a scary ringtone. The unexpected interlude of my phone drives me out of my thoughts. The irritating thing just loves to ruin the climax. Yes? Is it done? Always in such a rush. Well? Yes, it's done. I was having a moment. There's more where that came from. You interrupted me. You're the one who wanted to know when it was finished. A thrill leaps through my veins as my lips pull into a tenuous smile. Well, is it? Same time, same place as usual. You know the drill. I nearly clapped my hands, but mastered myself for one final word. Understood. I cut the transmission and eagerly withdraw a small bottle from within my jacket. Only one pill left, but no matter. I'll be getting more soon enough. I pop the final capsule into my mouth, puncturing its skin with my teeth and rolling the bitter gel over my tongue. Now this is life. As a wave of euphoria sweeps through me, I turn from my handiwork, strolling out of the meadow. Today's fun is over, but tomorrow will hold just as many pleasures. Are we like Jackal and Mr. Hyde? At first I thought we were Dexter, but I could be wrong. Ma, Yama Ishimoto. Huh? I sluggishly pull my head upward, fixing my eyes on the woman at the front of the classroom. Are you even listening? I hide an instinctive smirk. Technically, no. I've always found napping more appealing than relearning history that's been drilled into me since age 6. Haven't we all? Not that I can actually say that. In all honesty, this teacher doesn't deserve that kind of callous response. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Summarize the whole section we've been reviewing. I glance at the touchscreen board mounted behind the teacher, quickly skimming over the graphics and typography hovering on its surface. History of Isamu, our glorious metropolis, beginning in 2000 AD. Easy. Life was really boring for a while. We weren't in debt, weren't at war, and we were basically doing nothing interesting. The teacher's lips burst into a thin line as the classroom erupts into snickers. I feel the slightest tinge of regret and rein in my sarcasm. Then in 2007, America entered a debt crisis that caused a worldwide financial crash. Japan was one of the countries most affected by this. Well, second to China. And why might that be? Because we were dumb about who we partnered with. She taps her fingers impatiently on her desk, her eyes narrowing into slits. Well, she asked me to summarize the chapter. She didn't ask me how. Anyway, our glorious government didn't handle the situation so hot, so we had a lovely depression with all-time highs of unemployment and crime. Good effort, gold star. The teacher waves her hands as the class roars with laughter. I've angered a teacher like that before. Less sarcastic though. I was mostly just right, and she didn't appreciate the fact that I was sleeping through class and was still right. Right, that's enough. I'll be needing to talk to you after class about your attitude, young man. In other news, grass is green. Elizabeth, perhaps you can salvage this explanation? She gestures a few seats to my right, where a lavender-haired classmate sits, her spine as straight as a ruler. I feel a curdle at distaste in the pit of my stomach as I lounge against my chair. Of course, Elizabeth Oshiro, a class valedictorian, school poster child, and the area's golden girl. Nap time. I settle my head in my arms as Elizabeth leaps to her feet, smiling warmly. Certainly. During this time, Japan fell into chaos. Public demonstrations, often violent, occurred almost every day. Furthermore, political scandals regarding the national government kept spreading. The teacher relaxes as Elizabeth's textbook's recitation. She even shoots a quick glare in my direction as if to say, "See? Why can't you be like Elizabeth?" Eventually, local political powers became more effective than the centralized administration, hence why Ismu operates as smoothly as it does. Yes, thanks to the mayor's effort. Perfectly done, Elizabeth. Elizabeth smiles and settles back into her seat, fixing her eyes on me with challenging disapproval. I only shrug my shoulders, sending her an easy smirk. Oh, beautiful Amberine, she might be worthy enough to make my list. Oh, it's a classic douchebag. Okay, if you've seen my other videos, you know I can't do dude voices very well. We'll see what happens with him. I glance to my left just in time to catch another classmate, Yahiko Ikari, winking conspicuously at Elizabeth. She clearly ignores him. Well, that's Yahiko for you. I can't remember a day when he hasn't tried to flirt with some girl or another, nor can I remember a day where he wasn't flat out rejected. Technically, he's my former roommate, which makes him my friend of 2 years. How close of a friend? Well, that's up for debate. Huh? She managed to deflate my charms? I wonder how. Me too. No one can resist the Yahiko. Did he really call himself the Yahiko Ikari? He is spectacular. Yahiko. Yahiko clamps his mouth shut as the teacher's strident command. She leans heavily against her desk, massaging her temples with her fingers. Alright class, thanks to Elizabeth, we've seen where we come from. I'm sure you're all wondering what the point of this history recap was. Not really, no. We must study the past to understand the future. As such, it is imperative that the next topic be taken seriously. So, where do you all see yourself 10 years from now? Oh, I hate that question. I'm barely able to stifle a snort. It's only, the second day of school? Sure, this is the third year class. Sure, we're preparing for college entrance exam. Does that mean we have to know exactly what we want to do for the rest of our lives? The teacher pointedly looks at me, a hard glint in her eye. Yama Ishimoto, perhaps you'd like to get us started. I'm tempted to say, no thank you, but that'd be pretty rude. I'll manage my parents' restaurant, I guess. Teacher's lips tighten ever so slightly. I know what she's thinking. No passion, no ambition. He will be a failure, this one. He'll pay the bills. What more can I ask for? Really, dude? Out of anything you could have picked, you picked a restaurant manager. Well, what would you suggest? Add a bunch more, dude, like women and cars. Oh. It's just one of those people that makes you want to just like face palm. Like everything he says, or roll your eyes. He criticizes me for lack of imagination. Come on, it's 10 years. Anything can happen. The teacher shoots him a disapproving glare at his voice as his voice raises dramatically in volume. Ah, Yahiko, thank you for volunteering. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yahiko beams, and I feel a sudden sense of dread. Here goes his dream, the one that I've heard no less than 200 times before. Well, teach, I see myself in a Ferrari F500 under one arm, a Lamborghini Aventador 700-4 under the other. Okay, I'm not very good with cars, so I don't understand this. And a lot of beautiful women in between, fighting for the honorable privilege of bearing my children. No, it's kind of a modern Miroku. A little bit. The class stares at him. Heck, let's have some fun, I whisper to him. What about the mansion? Right. Take all that and put it in front of 20,000 square foot mansion, attended by a staff of 1,000 maids. Are they all wearing the French maid costumes, I wonder? And where is it located? Oh, it's in the Caribbean, on an island, a man-made island specifically constructed just for me with my name laser engraved into the hills, so that every plane that flies by sees that belongs to. That's quite enough, Yahiko. Thank you for your, input. Clearly she doesn't believe in his dream. Actually, I don't think anyone except Yahiko believes in his dream. Then again, Yahiko has enough to believe to make up for everyone else. Now, Umeko, what about you? The rest of our classmates drone on about joining some kind of mega corporation like... Like what? Lemniscate? Or Way Forward Pharmaceuticals. I lean closer to Yahiko. You forgot some things. I did? The yacht. The walk-in closet just for designer shoes. The private jet. A second mansion in Tahiti. Oh crap, I did. Hey, teach. Fortunately for the teacher, the school bell rings before he can grab her attention. My classmates immediately shove their belongings into their bags and bolt for the door. Meanwhile, Yahiko heads straight for the teacher's desk, eyes lit with excitement as he gabbers on and on about his yacht and his designer shoes and his private jet and his second mansion in Tahiti. A restaurant manager, huh? And then there's Elizabeth, slipping into Yahiko's now vacant seat. She shifts her backpack's weight onto the desk and raises a patronizing eyebrow at me. Well, sorry for being realistic, Miss CEO of a mega corporation. Sorry that I actually have ambition, Mr. Manager of the family restaurant. What? Should I have talked about having a mansion and cars and maids on my own personal island? You didn't even shoot for a restaurant not owned by your parents. They'll kick the bucket one day. Might as well be the one who takes over. Have some respect, would you? I snicker at that. Respect? Me? I flash of her bright, overly friendly smile. See you around, Lizzie. She fumes but forces herself to take a deep breath until her expression stills. Guess she hates being called Lizzie. Unfortunately. That was a pretty nice comeback. I'll give her that much. Beth, still up for lunch? Is this like the ginky girl? Excited girl? A student slides through the door with a warm smile and away. I recognize her as the girl who's always with Elizabeth. Don't know much else about her. In a blink of an eye, Elizabeth's face softens into a friendly grin. I'll be right there. Yep, just in case it wasn't clear enough, her hate is directed exclusively at me. She's the queen of angels to everyone else, particularly this girl, who I guess is the closest thing she has to a friend. Well, Ishimoto, it's been a pleasure. I bet it has. She lifts her chin and stiffly walks out of the room, nearly bumping into startled sorry in his face. It amuses me for some reason. She lifts her chin and swiftly walks out of the room, nearly bumping into a startled Yahiko on the way out. As a train of second years, probably her groupies, pull her away, Yahiko slips next to me. Why did she talk to you? Not me, the great Yahiko Ikari. Maybe because there's a limit to how many brain cells she's willing to sacrifice for conversation? Beats me. She's been doing that for a while. Really? We were in the same class last year. Really? I'm not surprised that he just learned about this. Then again, to be fair, I don't talk to Yahiko that much about my personal life. Yeah, something like that. It's not important. Yahiko evaluates me for a second with an unusual stoic expression, but quickly shakes it off, his face melting into a grin. So, what'd you think about my dream earlier? This again, on second thought. Maybe we shouldn't have kept talking about Elizabeth. You know, not being able to roll back and make the game like roll back is a little irritating than doing this because I'm going to read things wrong. Also, I have no idea what these buttons are. I'm kind of clicking on them randomly and hoping that I'm find the right one eventually. Yeah, so I have no idea what they are. I have to click on them randomly and figure out what each one is. Because there's not like the little words that pop up, which is a little irritating. But it's like not being able to roll back. Really roll back is irritating. But not enough to stop me from enjoying the game. So let's continue. Also, let's talk about the art. So, it's not the worst. I'm not saying it's bad. But it feels a little weird. And I don't know why. It might be like a perspective issue. I don't know. Same as the other 200 times you've told me. It hasn't been too hot. Has it really? 203 to be exact. Huh? So, that means you think it's amazing, right? Totally. I think it's the best dream in history. And it's so original and realistic. Thanks, dude. But I don't think you're aiming high enough. Huh? What should I add? Aim for the moon. Oh. So naive he is. He cannot read sarcasm. He gasps as if it's the best idea ever. The poor soul. Forget Tahiti. A mansion on the moon? You'd be the first. And probably the last. Just think about the possibilities. No one's ever set foot on the moon. Imagine how famous it'll be. No one's ever set foot on the moon? Really? Are you sure about that? Imagine how famous I'll be if I build a mansion there. No one's... I'm glad I have the same thought of this main character who is a bit dark. No one's even set foot? Seriously? Either I just stepped into a conversation at the wrong time, or someone just came up with a really stupid idea. Enter Rui Hayata, my friend of 10 years. Technically, she's a grade lower than me, but that doesn't stop us from hanging out. She's stuck with me through thick and thin. She's probably known me better than I know myself. Beside her stands Masato Kurogane, hardy in both build and personality. Great, another guy that had to figure out a voice to do for. If I had to describe him in one word, I'd use fire. Easily antagonized, hard to put out, and blazes every obstacle out of his way. Is he supposed to have a Kansai accent? That's what's happening? I can't do a masculine southern accent. Afternoon, little daisies. What's going on here? I cannot go super deep, I guess. No. Afternoon, little daisies. What's going on here? I'm gonna build a vacation home on the moon. Somehow, I can't say I'm surprised. I know, right? I'm brilliant. Think the first man on the moon and the first man to build a mansion on it. You're so bright. You're blinding me. What have you been telling him? That a giant leap for him is a small step for mankind? She has to think about that for a moment, but I'm rewarded with a smirk. Clever. I know. Look, if you kids are done yapping, Yama and I gotta head to the track. What? I didn't think Yama was joining again this year. Of course he is. This is news to me. It doesn't seem like a good idea considering he's only went to one practice last year and ditched the rest. Well, he ain't ditching this year. Ain't that right, man? Well, now that you mention it. What was that? You guys didn't even win last year, Masato. No need to make a big deal. Masato's eyes flare with instinctual need to prove the worthiness of the track. We're winning this year. I got a secret weapon. Really? Masato lights up at Rui's apparent interest. See? We lost last year because we didn't have good names. This year, I've got a great one. Oh goodness. So both boys in here, except for me, they're kind of dumb, basically. They're just a different type of dumb. No, they're kind of the same kind of dumb, except for blonde boy is slightly more dumb because of the moon thing than redhead boy. It's like very, very slight difference of level of dumbness. He pauses for dramatic effect. Marvelous Masa. Even Yahiko is stunned by this. At the very least, this is a pretty good opportunity to joke around. Wow, that's fantastic. and I'll call myself Speed of Light, Mountain Destroyer. The hell? You should rename yourself Streaking Shadow, Dark Eradicator, and you'll be unstoppable. Ain't no way I'm going with that. Yeah, he isn't great with sarcasm. Neither of these guys are great with sarcasm. She is the only good one. She whose voice is not yet set in stone. I smirk at him, but before I can elaborate, P above crackles to life. The club fair is officially open in the courtyard. Feel free to drop by and check out some of what your fellow students have planned. Already at just a second day. Maybe the school's just making everything happen faster this year. I don't really see why Samu's Imperial Boarding Academy has always done well for itself. Even throughout the recession, there's no need to change things now. Hey, it's club time. Let's go take a look. No thanks. I'd rather not be blacklisted. What does that mean? It means she's afraid to go with you. You'll outshine her so much the clubs won't be interested in her. Oh. Rui glares at me. I only wink back. Well, you shouldn't worry about that, my dear Rui. I'm sure I can use my substantial sphere of influence to get you a good spot. Just lives in the state of delusion. It's fantastic. I'm already in a club. You know, drama club? Oh, right. She's been in the drama club since last year, and somehow he's still forgotten. And what was Yama talking about? Nothing. He's just acting like an idiot as usual. Well, you know that they say... You know what they say, like, attracts like... Rui elbows me sharply in the ribs, but her lips are pulling up at the corners. They also say opposites attract. Yeah, and we know which one you are. She slaps me playfully on the arm, and Masato and Yahiko watch with blank stares. Did I just miss something? No more than you usually do. Yahiko frowns for a moment, but eventually shrugs the exchange off. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to find myself a club to grace with my innumerable talents. They're innumerable, alright. So, without further ado, I bid thee farewell. He turns with a flourish of his hand, but Rui calls after him. You know, that will be there, right? Huh? Club recruitment day. All the clubs will be there, including track and drama. Oh. Well, see you there. He whisks out of the room. You're coming to man the track booth. Me? Like, I'm track's poster child? In fact, I'd probably just scare away potential recruits. Don't think like that. You can be a great asset, man. You just gotta believe. AKA every movie theme ever. We exchange snickers, but Masato grabs my arm. Really, man? You coming? Surprised by the sudden intensity, I contemplate for a moment. It doesn't take long. Sure, why not? Really? Not like I have anything else to do. Sato grins, releasing my arm. Good. I gotta go sit up. But I'm expecting you there. He dashes out of the room after a quick wave to Rui. She smiles back and promptly turns to me. Have you figured out why he wants you in the track so badly? Not a clue. She hesitates for a moment and glances around the room. You know, you could join drama club instead. It could be a valid excuse for Masato. I think he just asked why I joined a different club when I could have joined track. But still, I think he'd really like it. Honestly, it sounds like it could be pretty fun. Rui seems to enjoy it. She often claims that it's just like when we played make-believe as kids. And make-believe is one of the few things that I don't mind doing. But it's so much work. I can relate. I feel that way a lot. About a lot of things. It's no more work than track, idiot. Besides, it can be really fun. I'll take your word for it. She rolls her eyes and shoulders her bag. Well, fine, Mr. Grumpy Pants. Some of us have club booths to manage, so I'm going to get going. We walk and step to the door, almost into freedom, and then the strident voice of the teacher rips through the air. Yama Ishimoto, surely you don't expect to escape so easily. Ah yes, my attitude problems. I turn to Rui, suddenly pleading. Bail me out? Not a chance. What? What? It builds character. I have plenty of character. Come on, throw up a distraction for me. I throw in a shameless dose of puppy eyes. She only pokes my forehead, sticking in her tongue. You win some, you lose some. Just be glad it's with a teacher instead of the police. Is this foreshadowing? Am I really is the main character really the bad guy? I'm secretly evil, aren't I? I'm a serial killer. Yep. At least the police wouldn't bore me to tears. What was that, young man? I turned to find the teacher hovering right behind me. Oops. Nothing. Great weather we're having, huh? Nice save. It's like when there's the lull in the room and you try to break the ice with, how about them Yankees? She doesn't seem amused. At this point, at what point? It's the second day of school. Unless she's referring to teaching me last year. Come to think of it, yeah, that's highly possible. It's clear that detention is doing nothing for your toxic behavior. Oh, yeah, because I can nap in detention. I never went to detention, but that was my exact thought process, was I can just nap in detention. It's fine if I have to go to detention. Other kids don't go to detention. It's bad. It looks bad. Don't do it. Therefore, I've taken the liberty of recommending you for a therapeutic mentorship, which will take place on campus at the discretion of our dorm manager. Requirements will be 1 hour, 5 days a week. The mentor will need to sign off on every visit. The what now? Are you scheduling brainwashing sessions for me? Excuse me? You might have other ideas, but civility and respect are integral cornerstones of a modern society. If it does result in scrubbing away some of that arrogance of yours, then I say good riddance. I'm shocked by the unusual passionate outburst from her. She slows her breath, shaking as she jabs a book, an envelope at me. Take this. Mr. Ryota's office. You know where it is. A tiny pinch of tension releases. Mr. Ryota, the mentor? Maybe this won't be so bad. I give the book a once-over. The cover is somber and 100% boring. Block letters proclaim, primates of the 21st century, 100 plus correctional techniques to improve the mindset of any underdeveloped adolescents. What book needs a title that long? How would you even shorten that? The CCTIMAUA. There we go. Well, gee, I'm honored. Take it. I take it. Goodbye, Yama Ishimoto. She flounces out of the classroom, clearly fed up with my shenanigans. Wordlessly, I turn and head down the corridor. Guess someone's a little touchy. Not that I can blame her. If I had a student like me, I'd hate him too. I tromp down the stairs. You tromp? Okay then. I tromp down the stairs to the first floor and stop before a door at the edge of the hallway bearing the sign J. Ryota, dorm manager. I rap sharply on the wood 3 times. Mr. Ryota? What is it? Nuclear war? What? No. Don't feel like opening the door for anything less important. I could open the door myself. Left it. Don't bother. I pressed my ear against the door, listening keenly. There it is. Action-packed orchestral strings just barely bleeding through the wood. Faint clanging of swords and shields. Are you in a clan war, Mr. Ryota? A moment later, the door's lock clinks open. Oh. So he's one of those teachers. I'm going to do me, you do you, let's be at peace sort of teacher. I like those teachers. Those teachers were my friends. Alright. We will end here for now. We'll find out what happens in this room. Thank you for watching. If you want, like, subscribe, comment. I'm tatocat. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening.